right, Chris? Tell us what this table is.
Yeah, so this table is 12 SPACs. So some are former SPACs and most are current. So these are 12 SPACs that Chamath has either done himself or he has been part of the pipe where he invests alongside the SPAC deal. So 12 deals here. And, without trying to, criticize, it's quite the flex, right? Because Chamath comes out with this tweet saying, trust the process. And he's able to put out in front of people this table showing, hey, I've done 12 SPAC deals and they are all up since I was part of them, lifetime to date. And then it also shows week to date and year to date. And the majority of them are up there as well. And the laggard, is Clover. So it's essentially showing, hey, Clover's down right now, but look at what happened to all the other SPACs I did.
Yeah.
So I think that's very, very strong here, and I want to dive into that. So, you look at those returns, they're kind of all over the place, but you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 12 are up over 100%. Actually, six are up over 100%, lifetime to date since that SPAC deal was done. So full disclosure, I want to get into what I own out of this group. So okay. I own IPOD, SPRQ, and SPCE currently. And then in the past, I owned DM and I also owned OPEN when it was IPOB. So, I own 3 of them. I've owned 5 of the 12. I think, that shows, he's been a part of some of these big deals. And, you look at that top one, SPCE, Virgin Galactic, up 443%. That was one of the big SPACs that really kind of kicked off this new wave of SPACs and the popularity, because you had, a space company going public. You had Richard Branson involved, and then you had Chamath involved, who wasn't as well known at the time, but he was an early Facebook member. Yep. He was very bullish on Tesla, Amazon, Slack. So, a good sense of investment. So, but those Virgin Galactic shares actually dipped below $10 after that deal went through. And then now look at them, up 443%. Like that's kind of insane in this short amount of time. To me, it reminds me a little of Cathie Wood and ARK, right? Where you're investing in what you think are the top growing industries going forward. So Chamath is trying to diversify himself, and he's trying to hit on, some top growth areas. So we have SPCE, which is space, right? Which could be a huge growth market. We have a space ETF coming from ARK. Then we have Open, which is, digital and online real estate, which is another growing trend. Then we have Clover, which is digital health and Medicare. Then we have IPOD, which hasn't announced a deal yet. IPOE is SoFi, which is digital payments, digital wallets, which is a huge growing market that Cathie Wood also highlighted in her big ideas. Then we have IPOF with no deal announcement. We have MP. So MP Materials is rare earth mining, which is going to help power electric vehicles, wind power, and other industries. Then we have DM, so desktop metal, which is, 3D printing and manufacturing 2.0, which is another area that Cathie Wood also highlighted in her big ideas. We have INAQ, which is the pay-per-mile insurance company that he was part of the pipe that Mark Cuban is also an investor in, so again, changing the face of insurance going forward. We have ACTC, which is Proterra, which is an electric bus, electric vehicle company. So again, focusing on the growth of electric vehicles. We have TSIA, which is Latch, which is a software as a service company. And then we have SPRQ, which is Sunlight Financial. So they help fund solar deals for commercial and residential. So solar energy, which under a Biden administration has been one of the hot topics. So here you have, Spencer, what do you think? Those all sound like huge growing industries to me. So I think Chamath is diversifying himself, but also really focusing on some of the high growth areas that, might also play into why these SPACs are trading higher, because they're very trendy, total addressable market growth industries. I want to tell you some data I found on these 12 Chamath deals. So what I did was I shared that post from Chamath on Twitter. I have a lot of followers who, obviously are interested in SPACs. I follow a lot of people on Twitter who, also dive into SPACs. So I wanted to ask the question, there's been 12 SPACs from Chamath that he's done, or those pipes. So my question was, how many are you currently holding and how many have you been invested in at some point? So the answer for me, which I posted and I just said, was I own 3 of the 12 now. And at some point, I've owned 5 of the 12. So Spencer, I got 33 responses. What do you think the average was for out of 12 that people currently hold?
Currently hold?
Yep.
You currently hold 3.
Yep.
And the average response, I certainly, oh man, this is gonna freak me out. I certainly hope it's not like more than 5 or 6, like more than 5. Is it more than 5?
At 5.3 was
Okay.
the average currently held.
Oh man, that makes me nervous.
Okay, so now the second part of the question. So again, 33 responses.
Yeah.
How many out of the 12 did people own at some point? What was the average?
Probably like 7.
7.5.
I swear I didn't see this. I'm just guessing.
No, no, Spencer did not know this. This was a segment I wanted to do, and I wanted to ask. And, I think there's lots of takeaways from that data, right?
Yeah.
Which, again, this was a small sample size, 33 people, and, again, skewed towards people who invest in SPACs. So you're not looking at your everyday stock investor. But I think that shows, again, so, I follow a lot of great SPAC accounts, and, I try to invest in, value too, right? SPACs that trade under $11. But I also invest in the management team. And when you look at management teams, I mean, Chamath is one of the best SPAC people out there right now at getting deals done, getting publicity, right? The guy goes on CNBC to announce his deals and, talk about them. He's been on, the morning show. He's been on the lunch show. And then, he tweets about them. And his Twitter followers too. I don't know if that's something you've ever looked at, Spencer. He used to have, 600,000 and now he's got over 1.3 million. So his followers have doubled, in the past couple months. And of course, that came from, SPAC deals, the GameStop saga, right? And talking about, investing in GameStop. He explored running for governor of California. So he's gained quite a few followers from these different events. But, I think it really shows that people that invest in SPACs want some exposure to Chamath based on that success rate he has. And, again, that tweet from him, it was a flex showing, how all his SPACs have turned positive lifetime to date. But also, it's the results. That's data. It's not like he made this up. Those are the facts.